Welcome to Bryer's Music Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome to another video. And this one's a special one because it's the very first CD haul of the year. So I'm going to be going through all the CDs that I have bought throughout the month of January. And you know, the thing is, you've seen like a good majority of these already because, you know, throughout the month I've been going to the record store and I've been kind of showing what I've got. So a lot of these you've seen before. But of course, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on them, so that's going to be a little exciting there for you. So again, there's a ton to get through, so I'm going to try to run through these as fast as I can, but still give my thoughts as I usually do. But there's going to be a little bonus at the very end of the video, and you know, just to show you right now, these actually came in just today, just before I started recording. So these two came in the mail. So just because this is the first CD haul of the year, let's spice it up a little bit, and at the very end I'm going to unbox these as well, so look forward to that. Make sure you stay tuned for it. So let's get started. So again, I'm going to get through a lot. We have a lot. I think it's over 40. So the first two I'm going to talk about, if you recall in the previous video, if I'll just play a clip right now. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm actually not going to unbox these two because, you know, for one, there's one in each, so it wouldn't be that exciting. But also because I still want to have some surprises when I do my end of the year CD haul video that I usually do. So here are the two CDs that I left as a surprise. The first one, we have Let's Dance by David Bowie. This is one I've been meaning to get for a while. Of course, it has some of the big songs on here. And you know, the album as a whole, it's good. But you know, the singles are really where it's at. You know, you have Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance, and even Cat People is pretty good too. But I think the other four songs on here, they're fine, but it's just not as strong as the singles. But overall, it's a fine album. I am very happy I have it. You know, just gradually growing that Bowie collection. But this one's all right. Okay, and the second one was this one right here, and this is by a band I've been trying to get into for a long time. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really gotten the time to listen to it just yet, but I'm really looking forward to. The band's XTC, and this is English Settlement. So this is a long album, so I'm assuming this was a double album originally. But yeah, it's a XTC. I have no idea what to expect. I've heard lots of great things about them. Great British band. Can't really pinpoint the genre. Some people say it's rock. It's a bit of pop, a little power pop, I guess. So yeah, if you want to help me describe what XTC are, just so I know what to expect, let me know in the comments. But I heard this one's pretty good. This is one of their best. So I thought, you know, might as well take a deep dive into this one. So those are the two I left as a surprise. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the other ones I picked up. These ones I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because not a whole lot to say. So I did get the Bangles Greatest Hits. It's a greatest hit, so there's not much to say. It has some of the big songs, like I think I mentioned before, like, you know, Going Down to Liverpool, Manic Monday, If You Knew What You Want, Walk Like an Egyptian, Walking Down the Street, the Simon & Garfunkel Hazy Shade of Winter, Eternal Flame, like the big songs. So this is pretty much all the Bangles I'll probably need, but you know, who knows, maybe in the future. We also got Grease, the soundtrack album. So again, if you know the movie, you pretty much know this whole thing. So again, not much to say. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John, of course. We got one live album, I think. One live album. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain I only got one live album. We have Blue Oyster Cult, Some Enchanted Evening. Very good live album. Only 7 tracks. You have Are You Ready to Rock? Then you have ETI, Astronomy, which is a very good rendition, like really great guitar work on that. Kick Out the Jams, Godzilla, Don't Fear the Reaper, and We Gotta Get Out of This Place. So yeah, very cool live album there. Okay, these next few ones, I've already listened to these before, you know, actually buying them, so I don't have much to say. But Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles. Again, it's a classic, one of the classics. This was the soundtrack to the film. Even though the film, from what I've heard, it's not that great, but of course this is spectacular. It has some great stuff, and even some songs that were originally supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper, but were cut. Of course, you have the title track, "Fool on the Hill." I almost said mountain there. "I Am the Walrus," "Hello Goodbye," "Strawberry Fields Forever," "Penny Lane," "All You Need Is Love," and even the other songs here are pretty good as well. So definitely a good find from that record store. Just again, gradually growing the Beatles collection. We're getting close though. We almost have every studio album. Then we have Billy Joel Turnstile. Again, I've listened to this before buying it. Great album, one of my favorites by him. Say Goodbye to Hollywood, Summer Highland Falls, New York State of Mind, of course, James, Prelude / Angry Young Men, Miami 2017. Yeah, absolutely spectacular album by him. And this one's also very good as well, Glass Houses. Yeah, great one. This is probably his most rocking album, because by this point he was mixing a lot of rock and new wave and a little bit of pop as well, and even a little bit of punk. So again, that's why it kind of rocks out a little bit more. Yeah, You May Be Right, Sometimes a Fantasy, the big hit, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, All for Lena, Want to Be Alone, Sleeping with the TV On. Yeah. Absolutely great stuff. And the last one I got from Billy Joel this year, or not this year, but this month, An Innocent Man. Another very strong album. I think it's more middle of the road for me, if I'm not mistaken. But again, great songs here. Easy Money, Uptown Girl, of course. The Longest Time. What else? This Night. It's a solid album. I do like it a lot. Okay, we also got Rolling Stones, Black and Blue. Not one of their best, of course, but I think there's still some good stuff on here. Hot Stuff I like that one. Memory Motel, I think that's the best song on here. Melody I liked, and I like Crazy Mama. I think that's a good closing track. I like the guitar work on that one, especially in the middle section. I really like the guitar tone in it. But yeah, again, not one of their best, but you know, might as well pick it up. It was there, so yeah. So next up, Steely Dan, Everything Must Go. Another one I heard before. Again, strong album. It's a strong album to go out on. Again, like I've said before, is it cream of the crop Steely Dan? No, not at all. But it still sounds like Steely Dan, and you know, if you know their sound, you're gonna find some good stuff on here. I think there's still some good material on here. The last mall, Things I Miss the Most, Pixeline, the title track's pretty good as well. But yeah, a solid album. Oop, nearly dropped that. Okay, next, Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. Yep, I had to re-listen to this one when I did that live stream with Jason and Adam when we ranked our top 10 Weird Al songs. And yeah, I had to get some more Weird Al in the collection because all I've had was the greatest hits for the longest time. And so this was a good one to kind of start me collecting his studio albums. I could have gotten more, but you know, again, baby steps. But yeah, so of course it has Eat It. You have Midnight Star is a really good song. The Brady Bunch, I Lost on Jeopardy, Polka on 45, King of Suede. Of course, that's a parody of King of Pain by The Police. Then you have Theme of Rocky. I think it's 8 or 13. I forget my Roman numerals, but Theme of Rocky, basically a parody on Eye of the Tiger. But yeah. Again, if you're into comedy music, you're gonna enjoy this one. If you're a Weird Al fan, you're definitely gonna enjoy this one. So, there you go. Okay, real quick, this is gonna be more. I'm just checking if I'm still recording. I'm gonna leave this in, by the way. Anyhow, moving on, we have Nazareth, No Mean City. Okay, one of their more later 70s releases, and I am quite impressed by this one. Again, all I've had was Hair of the Dog, which is a terrific album. I still prefer Hair of the Dog, but is that the name of the album? I can't remember if that's the name of the album. I'm blanking on it. Let me just check real quick, make sure I am correct. It should be somewhere here. Yeah, Hair of the Dog. I was right. Yeah, I was right. But yeah, this is coming out in 1978 or 79, somewhere around there. And yeah, I think this is a very good album. Again, it's hard rocking, it's heavy, and then there's some more quieter, more slower moments, of course, and that's the great thing about Dan McCafferty, rest in peace, again. And, you know, he has that capability. He can do the hard rocking numbers, but he can also do, like, slower ballad stuff, which is very great. So, yeah, I think this is a good one. Just to get into it, May the Sun Shine, Simple Solution, the title track, Claim to Fame, another good one. This one was pretty notable because it had, I'm gonna butcher this name, forgive me, Zal Clemenson, who was from the sensational Alex Harvey Band. So yeah, pretty cool. Little tidbit for you. Okay, and you know, again, this one's probably gonna have like people are gonna have very divided. I don't know. People are gonna have divided opinions, or at the very least, no one's gonna talk about it. But I did get Katy Perry, Prism. Again, I knew some of the hits on here, like Roar and Dark Horse, because, you know, like I said, I think she's becoming a guilty pleasure of mine, and so I was kind of didn't know what to expect, because from what I've heard, that her albums, you know, of course the hits are gonna be the standouts, and then you have a bunch of filler. But I was surprised. I think some of the deep cuts were actually pretty good. We have Legendary Lovers, I enjoy, Birthday, Unconditionally. Have to rotate every time I need to look. This Is How We Do, Ghost. I think Ghost is a nice, that's kind of like a power ballad, I'd say. Then you have some bonus tracks as well. The bonus tracks are fine, but yeah. I was very surprised. I actually enjoyed this album. Again, Katy Perry's not for everybody, but if you want to give her a chance, then maybe check out this album. Again, I know people have very, very strong opinions on her, but especially in the rock and metal scene. But, you know, I'm willing to give her a chance. All right, next, let's get some jazz into this video. We have Herbie Hancock with Sextant. Very interesting album. Very interesting. I think I still prefer Thrust. But there's 3 songs. You have Rain Dance, then you have Hidden Shadows, and then you have Hornets. I think Hidden Shadows and Hornets are probably my favorites. Rain Dance is kind of an odd one. And that's how I can kind of describe this one. It's jazzy, it's kind of experimental, a bit avant-garde in spots as well. So very interesting album. Probably need to re-listen to this one again, but I still quite enjoyed it. Again, I don't love it though. So again, that probably deserves another listen at some point. Okay, John Coltrane, My Favorite Things. Great one. Really enjoy this one. Of course, funny enough, the title track, if you know The Sound of Music, you probably have already heard that melody before. So that's kind of an interesting one. But the other 4 songs here are also really good. Every Time We Say Goodbye, Summertime, But Not to Be. But Not For Me. It's not to be, it's for me. Yeah, very enjoyable. Again, I've always had a great appreciation for jazz. This is like good music to just play and just really just chill to. Again, you're not expecting like crazy playing or anything. It's just music, you know, you can just relax to, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, this is a good one, and this one was also really good. I Love Supreme. Some people say this is one of, if not his absolute best album he ever made. Again, I don't know. I haven't heard everything he's done, but this was very good as well. Absolutely great playing as well. It says so on the back. John Coltrane saw the album length suite, A Love Supreme, as his gift to God. The world has come to see it as a classic, not only Coltrane's best known work, but one of the most important and influential jazz records ever made. That's quite a statement there, but I don't know, I wouldn't argue with it as of now. But yeah, definitely glad to finally hear it after my whole debacle with the other copy I had prior. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the last video, the last like full-length video I did when I kind of go more in depth. Or I'll kind of, I don't know, be probably at the very end of the video when I do my title card, it will tell you what video that was. But yeah, great stuff. But we're not done with the jazz quite yet. We have Soft Machine with Third. Of course, it's called that because it's their third album. So this was another great one. Again, 4 songs again. And yeah, I very much enjoyed this one. So this is an interesting one because this is kind of when they were kind of, from what I've gathered, they started out as like a psychedelic band, but then by the time they got to this, they kind of wanted to shave the psychedelic off and kind of go more in a jazz fusion direction. So yeah, this is a jazz fusion album and very good as well. Again, great playing. I need to release another one I need to re-listen to because it's been a bit since I've heard it, but from what I remember, I had a good time with this one. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't. But this one's probably my favorite of these like more jazzy albums. This is another jazz fusion album, and I think I've talked about this before. But we have Weather Report with the album Heavy Weather. Absolutely loved this one. Some excellent compositions here. Birdland, a remark you made. What a beautiful song that is. Just love that. Teen World, Harley Quinn, The Juggler, and yeah, top to bottom, a fantastic album. Very happy I took like a blind, basically a blind, just blindly grabbed it and just see if I liked it or not, because I've heard of Weather Report but never really listened to anything they did. So yeah, very happy to have this one in the collection. So yeah, go check this one out for sure. Okay, I'm gonna check again. You know, I am anticipating this is going to be a long album, or not a long album, a long video. I'm just going to move the mouse real quick just to make sure it doesn't, fall asleep on me. Moving on. So we're in the last stretch here. Jimi Hendrix Experience. We have Axe's Bold as Love. I still need to get the debut, and then I'll have all 3 of his studio albums. But I'm not going to go too in-depth here because later this week I'm doing a live stream with Jason and Adam. It was supposed to be last week, but that kind of got postponed. But I'm sure we're going to be doing it this week. But all I'll say about this one, I really enjoyed this one. This was very good. More info on that live stream, by the way. Okay, this one I need to censor. And I know people are going to be like, oh, don't censor it, but I really do need to. Because, yeah, we have Blind Faith with their only album. Their only album, which is just called Blind Faith. And yet, I have to censor this. I know a lot of us want to see naked women on album covers, but if the girl is 11 years old, then we have an issue. So, yeah, but regardless, so album cover aside, album-wise, I really do dig it. It's not my favorite album I've heard, but it's very good. Again, you have Steve Winwood playing on it, Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and who is the other guy? Rick Gretsch. So yeah, those 4 guys came together and just made a really good album. Very bluesy, rock, of course. A little bit of a jazz tinge to it because Ginger Baker is known as a jazz drummer. That's how he likes to classify himself, at least. But yeah, very good album. Again, it's one of the classic like late 60s, late 60s, I think. I want to say it's late 60s, 69 maybe. So it's a classic one in that period. Okay, The Byrds with the Notorious Byrd Brothers, another very strong album by the Byrds. I haven't heard everything by them. I've only heard the debut and Turn Turn Turn, but this one's also very good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember anything that stood out. It was just like a very pleasant sounding, a little bit of a country, folk rock, of course. That's still folk rock at the end of the day, but it's very pleasant sounding. No Gene Clark on here, but everyone else here contributes very good. And if I remember correctly, this was the last one to have David Crosby before they would fire him. But I think he would come back later. But yeah, good album. All right, up next. This was another terrific listen. I was very happy with this one. We have The Band with Stage Fright. This is the third one, I think. And yeah, so many great songs here as well. Like Strawberry Wine, Sleeping, Just Another Whistle Stop, All LA Glory is fantastic. The title track, The Rumor, Daniel and the Sacred Harp. Yeah, so yeah. It's probably, I mean, I still prefer Music from Big Pink and the self-titled album, but this is also a very good album. Very happy to get this one again. Sorry if I'm being repetitive, but you know, sometimes I'm just speaking from the heart. Okay, let's get back into some hard rock with Mountain, with the album Climbing. Get it? Because mountain climbing. It's funny. But anyhow, it's a very great album. Again, it's very heavy for the time. 1970 this came out, and holy crap. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Holy crap. Holy crap, was this album heavy. So many just great rock songs, like Mississippi Queen, which is the only song I knew, but that's a great opening track. Theme from an Imaginary Western. Silver Paper. To My Friends, Sitting on a Rainbow. Yeah, go listen to this one if you want some like early 70s hard rock. You don't know what you're missing. Leslie West is the main guitarist, I believe, and he rips it on that. Alright, so we also got some Harry Nilsson with Nilsson Schmilsson. Again, another artist I hear a ton about. So I found this album and I was like, you know, let's give this a whirl. And I really like it. I don't love it yet. I think this is another one I need to re-listen to again, but some good stuff here. Gotta Get Up, Driving Along, Moonbeam Song, of course, as Without You, the Badfinger cover is great. Jump Into the Fire, I think that's another one of his classics. But yeah, I dig it a lot. Okay, The Tubes, with their self-titled debut. Another band I hear every so often, not all the time, but some people will bring them up and say they're really good. But yeah, very happy with this one. Another good one. Very unique. I can definitely say I can't really pinpoint other bands that sound like this, but in a good way though. The vocals pretty good. It's kind of somewhat comedic, but it's kind of done. The lyrics are kind of comedic, but they're trying to tell a serious topic. So it has a nice little like duality there. You have the funny, but it's also talking about something serious. You know, poking fun of stuff. But yeah, very good one, very strong. And again, this is a original masters recording, which are pretty rare, especially for the Tube. So this was pretty expensive, but I'm very glad I did though. But yeah, very happy with that. Okay, Pat Benatar, we have Crimes of Passion. This is their second, I think. So yeah, this was pretty big. Of course, it has Hit Me With Your Best Shot on it. Great song. Treat Me Right's a good song. There's a cover of Kate Bush, Wuthering Heights, which is actually kind of interesting. And of course, I'm always going to go for the Kate Bush. Like, why wouldn't I not? But I think Pat does a pretty decent cover of it. I was very impressed with it. Prisoners of Love, Hell for Children. So that's quite a title there. But yeah, good to have some female representation here. Fleetwood Mac, Mirage. This was their follow-up to Tusk, and you already know. And if you don't know my thoughts on it, go watch December CD Hall, and at the very end, I kind of talk about my thoughts on it. But long story short, wasn't a huge fan of that one, but we get to hear, and it's. I think this is much better. There is not as experimental as Tusk was, and Lindsay is a bit more restrained here, and that's kind of a bad way to put it, but he kind of pulls back a little bit. He kind of does more traditional sounding songs, which I appreciate, and of course Christine, love her, and Stevie also, that has some great tracks as well. Of course you have Gypsy on here, Hold Me, Oh Diane, Wish You Were Here, Love in Store. Yeah, good one, really good one. Okay, Prince, Dirty Mind. Very danceable, very funky, and I'm very much into that. I mean, lyrically, it tackles some very controversial stuff, very sexual, and yeah, that's all I'll say. But yeah, musically, it's great. I mean, Prince is always a great musician. You gotta admit, even if you're not a fan of Prince, you gotta admit he definitely knows how to write a good catchy number, and he's a great musician. He plays like so many instruments, like guitar, bass, drums. He's like all over the place. But yeah, this is pretty good. Always nice to have some Prince in here. All right, we're almost there. Okay, we have Blackout, Scorpions, a great album by them. This came out in 1982, and yep, very much enjoy this one as well. Okay, I don't have much else to say on that one. Okay, Queensryche, Empire. Okay, so far I think I only have 3, including this. I have 3 Queensryche albums. I have what's it called? What's that album called? The Warning. And I have Operation Mindcrime, and then we have this. Kind of comparing all 3, this is probably my least favorite, because I think there are some songs that just weren't as memorable or as strong as some other songs here. Best I Can, Thin Ice, Black City Jet, great ones. Empire is good. Anybody listening? Silent Lucidity, I do like, but I will say I think that song's a little tad overrated. But again, it's a good album, but not my favorite Queensryche album so far. And it's a bit long too. It kind of goes on for a little bit. Okay, Overkill, Horoscope. Now this one was very great. Good thrash metal at its finest. Came out in 1991, I think. And yeah, this absolutely thrashes out. Great songs, and this is my first Overkill album, and this was a very good impression. I do want to get more of them, so I know Year of Decay is a good one. Yeah, I think that's all I know at the moment. So let me know if there's some other Overkill albums I should check out. Just leave them in the comments. Okay, we have a few Joni Mitchell. We have Ladies of the Canyon, her 3rd album, very good. Some great stuff. Is mainly just her acoustic guitar and piano, and it just sounds great. And you know how much I love my Joni Mitchell. But yeah, stellar stuff. This was also pretty good. Didn't quite like it as much, but still has some great songs in here. We have The Hissing of Summer Lawns. Okay, again, not as good because this was the follow-up to Court and Spark. And I don't think it's as strong as that, but again, still some great stuff here. I don't know why I almost said decent there. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm so used to saying decent all the time, I guess. Okay, and then last one I got was Both Sides Now, which is mainly a covers album of her reworking some of her older songs, trying to fit her current style. Kind of a jazzy sort of feel, very slow, but also very emotional, and that's the great thing what I love about this, like especially the title track, which is just like, if you know the original and then hear this, like, oh my god, like it's just what a beautiful rendition of it. So I think this is worth owning. Nearly there. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman. Again, this is the last one with Randy Rhoads, and this was a great one to go out on, I think. Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, Tonight, the title track. Great one. Then you have Bark at the Moon, which was, again, this is the first one without Randy, but you have Jakey Lee on guitar, and you know, he does a really good job. Good guitar work, very different, but you know, definitely fits, I think. Title track, You're No Different, Rock and Roll Rebel, So Tired, Rain for Darkness. So it's not as strong as the previous two, but again, I like it. And last one to talk about, we have Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. So I'll kind of reiterate if you haven't watched the last video, but for a long time I've always said I was never a fan of Bruce Springsteen, and I only ever liked the title track. That's all I've liked. But now I think it's time, and of course Garrett from Soundlight Studios has been, you know, he's a big Bruce fan, and I'm like, okay, let me buy this album, and let's see what will happen if I give him a fair chance. And you know, I'm gonna say it, I actually didn't hate it. I don't love it, but I actually kind of liked it. Let's see. So besides the title track, 10th Avenue Freeze Out was kind of good. Let's see, Night, Meeting Across the River, Jungle Land, the last song. I think that's a very good song, actually. So yeah, one thing I've always said, I've always given Bruce credit. Like, he knows how to write a song. Like, I've never doubted that he's a good songwriter. And of course I don't doubt he's a good showman as well. But the thing that's always bugged me, the reason why I never loved him, was because of his vocals. I'm not a huge fan of his vocal style, and you know, there's moments on here I'm kind of like, okay, it's fine, but you know, kind of wish a different singer was singing this. This might get me flagged. This will get me some flack. But the song Thunder Road, it's a fine song. It's a fine opening track. But the problem is that whenever Bruce is trying to whenever he's trying to do a ballad, I just always think his voice just doesn't fit. At least to me. Again, that's just a me thing. Let me say that again. It's a me thing. But yeah. Besides that, I wasn't quite impressed. Like, this kind of went over my expectation. So I will check out more. So any of you who are Bruce fans, I know Garrett's going to watch this, but if you have any other suggestions on what album I should check out next, let me know. Then I'll see what I can do. Alright, so that is all the CDs I bought this month. Of course, we still gotta open these up, but let me quickly check. Again, always gotta check to see how long this video is, and also to see if I'm still recording. Okay, let me just jiggle this a little bit. Excuse me. Alright, so if you made it through, then thank you so much for watching this far. Of course, give this video a like, subscribe. I know some people will find that annoying when I keep saying that, but you know, whatever. That's how I want to run things. But anyway, let's get on to the unboxing and let's see what I received. And these ones just barely made into the CD haul, because when I ordered them, they said it was going to come tomorrow, which would be February. But you know, since they came today, I guess they still count as January CD, pickups. All right, so this one I have here. This is another one of those original album series. Don't think you'll see them up there, but those packs, those like collection packs where they have like 5 albums in one, and like little sleeves. Like, you know what I'm talking about. So this is another one of those, and I know Nick, if you're watching this, then you'll probably be excited about this one. So I got the Hollies. So this one actually includes 5 albums, so it has pretty much their first 5 albums. So it comes with Stay with the Hollies, In the Hollies Style, Then you have one that's just called Hollies. Then you have Would You Believe, and then For Certain Because. Now, For Certain Because is the only one I've heard, because actually me and Garrett and Nick have listened to this on our own time together before. So yeah, so I know that one, but the other four I have no idea. And I think Nick has said that, and I know Nick, he talks about the Hollies a lot on his channel. And you know, I think he said that he's not a huge fan of some of the early stuff. But you know, might as well give them a fair listen. So again, they all come in this little box, and they all come in these little sleeves. So we'll kind of go over these individually. So first up, we have the debut album. This is Stay with the Hollies. So there's 14 songs on here. Of course, you have Graham Nash. Then you have Alan Clark, Tony Hicks, Eric Haydock, and then you have Bobby Elliott. So if you take it out, yeah, here's what the discs look like. Not a whole lot to say, just kind of tells you what songs are on it. There we go, get back in there. Ooh, there we go. That was really hard for some reason. Then you have the second album with In the Hollies Style. And back again, pretty bare bone, but that's typical. Alright, and this time it's in the black color. And here is, you know, just Hollies. Okay, and this one's in the red color. Then you have Would You Believe? Question mark. This one's in blue. Then last one we have For Certain Because. And this one's kind of in this. This one's kind of in a little, I guess, aquamarine color. Sweet. Because, you know, Nick has sent me Distant Light and Butterfly, so definitely wanted to get more Holly. So and I thought this was probably the best way to get started. I know Evolution is one he talks about very highly of, and I know Garrett also talks about quite highly, so maybe that'll be the next one I pick up. So yeah, that's that. And then the last one, right, for the last CD I'll show today, we have the Kinks. We have Lola versus Power Man and the Merry-Go-Round, the Money-Go-Round Part 1. And it comes in this hardcover. Nice. Very impressed with that. So there's two discs here. You have the original album on stereo, the 2022 remaster with some bonus material as well. Then disc 2 is alternate versions and mixes. So yeah, here's what it looks like on the back. Then you have the hype sticker as well. The hype sticker says 50th anniversary reissue of the classic 1970 album, deluxe hardback book format, original album, new remaster from HD Masters tapes, alternate versions and mixes, includes previously unreleased track releases, booklet with notes, new band quotes, rare photos, and memorabilia, featuring the hit single Lola and Ape Man. All right, let's open it up. Come on. I'm making this a lot harder than it should. There we go. Got it. So here it is out of its, shrink wrap. And it very much is in a book style. So you open it up. Here you have a little history, a little picture of the band there. Here's some quotes. Of course, I know Lola. That's probably the only song I know on this album. And this is always good because all I've had was Arthur for the longest time, so definitely wanted to get more. And so I thought this one was a good one to get, because people talk about this album very highly. You have some information there, kind of talking about each track or something. Get more pictures. Then we finally get to the CDs themselves. So they all look the same. They both have the same design, from what I can tell. But here's what the discs look like. I'm only going to show one of them. Kind of in this like blue color, like that. And then let me just put them back, and then we'll conclude the video. So there you go. All right, so there you have it. This was a long video to do, but hopefully you found this enjoyable, maybe a little bit entertaining. But yeah, this was always a lot of fun to do every month. So of course it's not going to be fun like reorganizing the collection, but I have to do what I gotta do. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you actually watched the entire video, then more power to you. But if you did enjoy this, please give the video a like. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Again, you know what to do. Hit the bell. You know the drill. And then I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Of course, we'll see when. Probably be next week, because like I said, I'm back in school now, so you might start seeing uploads a little bit slower. But that's all I gotta say. Bye for now.